Hey folks, good evening. Welcome to another morning space with me. My name is Kalu Aja. Of course, on this space, we're talking money, the economy, and finance. We want to make those topics, easy for you to digest so that way you become a better investor, even a better taxpayer if you think about it, right? So that's what we're doing here every Sunday, 7 p.m. We're here talking West African time, talking to folks about those topics on money, economy, and finance. This week, guys, we are talking stable coins, specifically Nigerian stable coins. Did you guys know we had a Nigerian stable coin? We've had these folks here before, and lots of folks were saying, "Wow, we have a Nigeria stable coin. What's it gonna be? Is it stable? I.e., the exchange rate will not move and all that." But we decided to bring them back again, right? Just so we can talk around progress, status so far. From when they were here, I think that was way back in June till now. What have they done that is different? Why does Nigeria need a stable coin? How does this help the price of Gary? Literally, we want to really get into them to explain all this to us. I have a lot of folks. I mean, the CNG who are going to be the lead guests are here, and I think I've made them a host as well. So that way they can add and bring up all those, should we say, the folks who are going to talk around. Lots of interesting names. But I think it's again one of those places where I say it's an educative space where I just want to also listen and also learn about the status of all these folks. So let me bring cNGN, should we say, our host partner. So we can just introduce yourself, sir. Then I can maybe take you on, explain to us, so folks that are just joining in again for the very first time. What is a Naira stable coin? What is even a stable coin? What's a Naira stable coin? How do we use it? How is it different from the other thing Nigeria is doing? And what is the real life application? So cNNG, if you can unmute, we want to hear you, sir. Hello, sir. cNNG? cNGN. All right. But I do have a few numbers I could share here. Yeah. Uh, I understand now because I don't want to steal your thunder by you giving your overview. So I'll give you a minute, and if you don't, I'll just go ahead and give a few numbers that I think are quite impressive. Before the space started, I did share a small poll, and I asked folks, "Are you aware that Nigeria has a stable coin?" And the numbers that I saw this one just before the space started, yes, we are aware Nigeria has a stable coin is about 43%. Then there are two other questions. There's no and what's a stable coin. So if you add up no, we're not aware Nigeria has a stable coin, and what's a stable coin, that is more than the yes number. So again, that just tells us it's not a scientific poll, but just speak to how we have to get this information out there on platforms like mine, on a space, just so that ordinary folks that don't speak IT can appreciate what we are doing so far. The current adoption numbers from when you guys were here in March, right? Right now, the cNNG in circulation, which I presume should be the amount of stable coins in circulation, about 609 million. That's what I see here. About from we had 128 unique users way back in March. Now we've grown exponentially to about 832. We had about 253 total on-chain transactions way back in March. Now it's about 57,000 on-chain transactions. So significant growth from its launch way back in February 2025. Guys, the cNNG is SEC regulated. So essentially what they are doing is that SEC is should we say trying out or allowing these folks to basically run this race on Nigerian stable coins, and then seeing how these stablecoins can then be adapted into the Nigerian financial systems as it were. They've done a good job so far by growing adaptation, and we can see on-chain transactions. That's an explosive growth from 253 to about 57,000 from March to where we are today. At about 4,000, 4,400 minted tokens, from just 7 holders. This has surged to 603 million tokens. So essentially, the stable coin is taking that Naira and then attaching it to a fiat currency, which in this case is going to be treasury bills, Naira itself. So it's a one-on-one transfer. If you hold the Nigerian stable coin, you hold Naira, but it then allows you to do digital and online transactions. That's my only way of understanding it. So I think cNNG is ready to speak. How are you doing today, sir?
We're doing very good today. It's a pleasure having you here today.
Okay, your audio is a bit muffled. If you could help with that, that would really help me. Just quick introductions, if you don't mind.
Yeah, good everyone. My name is Olenka. I'm part of the cNGN team. So, for those that do not know, cNGN is a Naira stablecoin pegged one to the Naira. We are simply putting Naira on chain across multiple blockchain networks like the Bantu blockchain, the Asset chain, the popular chain like Binance Smart Chain, Base blockchain, and as much blockchain that demands come from. We're not trying to be a CBN. We're just putting Naira on chain. Yeah.
So we're taking the Naira I have in my pocket, the paper Naira in my pocket, and we're making it a quote, if I could use this term, a digital Naira. Is that it?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, then where there was stable, what was the stable part of the whole Naira thing? What does that stable mean?
So Mr. Victor, you can call me.
Yeah, so the word stable is pretty much, it's almost like a legacy description, right, from when stablecoins originated. The first stablecoins that were conceived were created to shield users from the volatility of the crypto markets, which we can all agree that it's relatively unstable.
Okay.
I think that in today's balance, maybe a better way of putting it is to call them fiat pegged coins.
Fiat pegged coins.
Big grammar.
Okay.
Yeah, but so it's just taken on the legacy name because inherently nothing is really stable, right? Even the US dollar that we like to praise.
Mm-hmm.
When you compare it with an asset like gold, for example, since 2021, we cannot exactly say that it should be stable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything is stable relative to, so the stability there is relative to the underlying asset that it's actually pegged against.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's where the name comes from. That's where it's a legacy name that's being used across, and then it's just easier for people to just say stable coin. It's evolved. It's like when you say Omo.
Gotcha.
Right? Or when you say my clean and stuff like that. Yeah, but you should understand what it means is that against its reference asset, it will always be stable
to that Naira. So like I said, in my layman understanding, I'm just taking my Naira paper and I'm converting that Naira paper to a digital Naira that I can use online.
Absolutely, you're giving it wings to fly. If I can describe it, you're making it more versatile.
Okay.
Yeah, you're making it more versatile. You're giving it the ability to not only do things that you can do locally, but also get online to do even more interesting things. And I believe that some of our guests here who are actually building stuff at cNGN might be able to share some of the interesting things that they're doing. This space is actually more about them, but obviously we will give some progress reports.
Yeah.
But we hope that we're able to educate the audience with what our ecosystem partners, those who are building with cNGN, we know what they have to share today.
Gotcha. So that essentially that you're completely right. What we want to do today is to tell the folks listening in this, and the CNN is not just the stable coins, it isn't just a fanciful word out there in the sky. There are Nigerians that have actually developed applications, real life apps that are being used day to day in Nigeria, and it's working. Like the numbers I've quoted are just numbers, but when we talk to now the guys that are on ground using the stable coins, doing transactions, making life better, then I think it gives us a better perspective that this is not just some esoteric geek thing. It's real use applications and it can improve competitiveness and productivity. So I look forward to that part of the discussion. Just a quick question. I get this question all the time. If you just help us gloss over it. What is the difference between this and the e-Naira? Just if you could gloss over that for us, just real quick.
Yeah. I think you did a poll. I think I missed that poll, but from the poll, it seemed as though, even though the sample size is small, it seemed as though I have to speak maybe in plainer terms. Please, can I correct that assumption? Because I'm going to try to explain it in very, very simple terms. Try to explain the differentiation or the differences in very simple terms. consider the Naira, which is a central bank digital currency, as the intranet that allows you to be able to do things in your workspace, for example, right? There's so much you can do within your work organization with the intranet, right? But it's confined to your workspace, but it allows every staff and participant that's got access to that work space to be able to share information, upload stuff, read stuff, send things to themselves, right? A stablecoin, a public-facing local stablecoin like the cNGN, for example, is more like the internet because it's exposed, so anybody can have access to it. So some of the characteristics that you see, number one, first and foremost, a CBDC like the INAIRA will inherit. So if a country has a CBDC like the INAIRA and they're doing fractional reserve banking, just know that they just literally digitize that experience, right? But with a stable coin, like the cNGN, for example, because of the way in which the type requirements that you're required to meet to be able to mint one of them, you have one-to-one backing. So you can always say, okay, this is tied to a particular reference asset. But more importantly, it is open to the world. Anybody can access it from any part of the world. Anybody can access it from any exchange, from any decentralized exchange, or even any centralized exchange. So it's more open to the world. You can do more things in the digital space, than an e-naira will do, for example. Do you know what I mean? A stablecoin, for example, you can keep it in any asset, any wallet that supports that particular asset. Right? You're not mandated to say that you have to choose this particular one. But the e-naira, for example, will have to say, okay, you're going to use a speed wallet. You get what I mean?
I see.
Right? But fundamentally, they are both still mirroring the Naira, right? They're still mirroring the Naira, just that one of them is against inside. But if I can use like local parlance, and I use it very loosely. One of them is like an inside key, does everything, that the government wants it to do. The other one is outside there, it's exposed and can interact, with the rest of the globe, pretty much. I don't know if that's helpful enough, or if you need me to still.
I think it does help. I see here. I'm just reading some notes here. I see here it's on. It's also available on multiple chains, including Base. That's Coinbase. It's also available on Binance, on Ethereum, Polygon, and Asset Chain. So these are so on all these platforms, I can get eNaira on Coinbase, on Binance, on Ethereum, Polygon, and Asset Chain. That's what that means, right?
Yes, absolutely. It means that it means, let me describe it this way. It means that you can use any network. Like if you're using a mobile phone, right? You have the flexibility to be able to say you want to use Airtel, you want to use Glo, you want to use MTN, that sort of thing, right? But at the end of the day, the important thing is that you can make phone calls, you can browse the internet,
I see.
You can, yeah.
That's a bit clearer. So I'm not sure if I want us to jump. I really would like to, lots of folks are saying I really just understand the real life application. I don't trade crypto, but when I go abroad, I'm just reading a text from someone. When I go abroad, I see a lot of real life in the banks, especially people are able to move money on and it's secure. I'm surprised Nigeria has this. I want to learn more. So the real life examples. I know I've got Zend here. I've got Bread here. Victor, you do me a favor if you want to add them or mention who else wants to speak. I want to get let someone come up and say what he's doing and how he's using stable coins in Nigeria to solve a problem. I know who wants to go first. So Zend or Bread or Ugochukwu, who wants to hop in and take that?
Yeah,
I'll start with Zen. Yeah,
Zen?
Yeah, I'll handle that. I'll handle that. Hello, everybody. Hi, Carlo. So I'm the co-founder of Zen Finance and also Asset Chain. Asset Chain is also a speaker here, so I'll speak on behalf of Zen and Asset Chain.
Okay.
And also, we are also backing cNGN. And let me put it this way. I think a couple of months ago, when you had the first space, I also came up as a speaker to talk about what we were going to build. At the time, the features were not live, but now they are live. So here are practical applications that we've already built on cNGN, on Asset Chain. One, on the Zen Finance application. So Zen Finance is a mobile app to put it in simple terms, it's a DeFi application, decentralized financial application, meaning that, okay, you can access so many
financial services without restrictions on the application. And one of the newest one we just added is what cNGN, and we were able to bring the Nigerian money market on chain. So what do I mean by that? If you're familiar with or people listening in, maybe you must have heard of the money markets. You must have heard of things like mutual funds, fixed deposits and all that.
Yeah.
Now, for you to access this money market, definitely you need to do paperwork, go to the bank or connect to an application that sort of supports it, right? It's not very easy for people from different parts of the world to access, and we have very good rates or good yield on this in these markets, right? It's been sort of restricted, but now with the power of cNGN being on asset chain, we're able to open up this service. Now with cNGN, you can invest in that money market directly with crypto. You don't need to come and set up. Yes, you don't need to come and set up an account somewhere or talk to your account manager or talk to this bank or have some limits. At times when people are trying to set up some of these things, they'll tell you, oh, you need to have a minimum deposit. You need to come as a group. You need to show us your CAC. All those things have been abstracted away. That complexity doesn't exist anymore, and that's what the cNGN gives you the power to do as a stable coin, right, backed by Nigerian Naira. It gives like speed, it accelerates or gives velocity to the currency. And this is one very interesting application that we have built in. So on the Zen Finance app, if you see the Zen account here, you can actually check this. You can download the app or you visit from web, app.zen.africa. You can check it out. If you're in a place like America, you might not be able to download it on Google, on iOS App Store because of crypto restrictions and all that. But you can access the web app, and with your Naira, you can get your USDT and swap it to cNGN instantly. You don't even need to have a Nigerian bank account, and you're accessing the Nigerian money market. This has never happened before.
Okay, Ugo.
Just like
Ugo.
Yeah.
I want you to slow down. There are lots of folks that are listening that don't know IT. Just so take it very slowly for me. I live in Dallas. I want to invest in Nigerian treasury bills. You are saying I can do what? Just walk me through.
Okay, very good. So let me put it this way. You live in Dallas. Okay, I'll give a practical example because in July, I spent the whole of July in Manhattan, right, with the Wall Street guys and all that. So this question is something that we got almost every single day from different guys in Wall Street. So you're in New York, you're in Dallas, you want to invest in the Nigerian money market. Simply, how you do it is you convert your US dollar, for example, to USDT or to USDC, right? That one is straightforward. With Coinbase, that can be done instantly. People use Coinbase in America. I realize that is what a couple of them use. Now, with that money, you send that USDT into your Zen Finance application. Once you send it into your Zen Finance application, you convert it to cNGN and you invest. Very easy. No, you don't need to know anybody in Nigeria. You don't need to do any extra work.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate. What about KYC? Know your customer, and how does that work? Do you know who I am?
No, so that's good. So on an app like Zen Finance, you're going to do your KYC. That's important, right, for centralized application. So I was going to go there, but I just wanted to, take this first part. On Zen Finance is a centralized application, right? So you will do your KYC because you have to protect, you need to handle like you do KYC AML and all that because we have to report to the right authorities. We're under regulation. So that's one. Definitely the person will do KYC on the app, but that is just all you need to do. You don't need to do some extra. Let's say for example, you actually wanted to access the money market here. You would definitely have to do extra paperwork. Come down, get an account officer, know the bank you're going to work with, and they will give you restrictions. Maybe you're going to have 3 months and extra. This just a lot, minimum deposits and all that. Now you don't have those restrictions. And it is powered by cNGN, right? And this is now happening on one of the blockchain networks that we also built, is our company Asset Chain. So that's one. Then I will go a second route now, which is the decentralized financial part, where it is still being built by a company called Eden Finance on Asset Chain. It's not live yet. And that part is down the part that does not require KYC. I will talk about it. In crypto, the whole purpose of crypto is people having access, to use money or to be able to access different things, privately if they want. But then it doesn't stop transparency, because most people think that maybe when you don't do KYC in crypto, it means that you're a criminal or something. No, crypto supports privacy. And America, I would like to give America as an example, has a law by the SEC now that they support DeFi protocols. Compared, Americans have the right to privately own their assets, move their assets to any place they want to move it to, and have full custody. They don't need to have any sort of maybe KYC, AML for using DeFi protocols.
That's in America. That's in America.
That's in America, exactly. So, Donald Trump is trying to set up America as the crypto capital of the world. So they are actually pushing the laws. That's why SEC dropped all the cases against all the DeFi protocols like Uniswap and a couple of all these guys in the US, because those users are actually doing what is well within their rights. So they dropped it. So there's a DeFi aspect to cNGN that has been built out. That's for the money market by Eden Finance. So it should be live within the next 1 month. So what it means is that you don't even need to come and talk to us, let's say talk to anybody or do any KYC. You have your money USDT or USDC. You can just go to the application, connect your MetaMask wallet or Trust wallet. Okay, sorry, these wallets I'm calling are non-custodial wallets. So what it means is that you can control them, you can control your assets. Nobody's in control of your assets.
Okay.
So you can connect those wallets to this platform and directly invest in the Nigerian money market without any restrictions. Yes.
Okay, Ugo. I'm getting tons of feedback on what you're saying. So I want you to just hang in there for me, because you need to also clarify that restrictions for me. And restrictions, of course, will be maybe ease of, get eventually, but just that word restrictions is, but I'm getting a lot of feedback on that. Let me see if we can, just hang in there. Let's see if we can get Obi Ezegu. I don't know if from Trobotech. I'm not sure if it's here.
It's not here yet, so we move to bread.
No. I think Obi is here, but let's handle bread and then we'll go to Trobotech so that it gives us Trobotech time to settle in. So we can go to bread and then.
Excellent. Excellent work, guys. Bread, you're here. It's bread of life. I mean, what are you doing? Like, I like the way Zen was able to say, listen, we can do money markets from the US to Nigeria. I know a lot of folks that have their cash in the US would like to invest in Nigeria. Nigeria is looking for foreign direct investments, foreign portfolio investments. We can do that. What are you doing for us in this space? What's the real life application that folks can use bread to do that would expand usage and just basically create a better ecosystem for Naira stablecoin? Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Kalu. GM to everyone, Ugochukwu and cNGN team. So basically, my name is DR7 from Bread, and what we're doing is we had a problem years ago, not just now. When I was growing up, we noticed that the Naira was more powerful than the USD, and we noticed that while we were teenagers, we noticed that this changed at the point. But for us, we were like, okay, why don't we build something that makes the Nigerian Naira equal par with any currency in the world? So that's what we're doing with this. So we want to be able to, wherever you are in the world, you should be able to send money to anybody in the world into their account, not just so what we did is we are dealing with
I
think I lost him. I'm not sure if you guys can hear him.
Yeah, I think Brett got disconnected. Brett, if you're still here, we've lost you now for about 30 seconds.
Who do you want to bring up?
Okay, I think I'm back.
Okay, Brett is back. Okay,
perfect. You were speaking about when you were there the night.
Basically, for us, it was more like we want to be able to ensure that people from any part of the world can use our currency to send money to any part of the world. It means that if you have a Naira in your bank account and all of those, so all you have to do is move it to the and come to our app and send it. Maybe you're in the US, you should be able to send it to US any 2 weeks time. We would support close to 60 countries. So you don't need to get the USD. All you have to do is get on bread, and you should be able to send money to anybody in the world into their account directly. So yeah, that's basically what we do. All of this is powered by cNGN and all.
Again, break this down for me. Very, very simple language, right? So if I'm in the UK, I want to send money to a guy in Ekiti. How does bread come in with the cNNG? Just give me how will happen?
So I did not get your question.
If I'm in the UK, I want to send money to Nigeria. What will happen? So what do you guys do? So in the UK, what do I have to go to a bread app and put the money in the bread app? How does it work?
Okay, so we don't hold money. So all you have to do is go on our app and get the account number of whosoever you want to send the money to in Ekiti and transfer if it's any crypto at all. So it goes directly to their bank account. Now, in the back end, all of this is powered by cNGN. That means whether you send USDT, USDC, Solana base, whatever you are sending, we are ensuring that we transfer it to the person's bank account, and it's faster and very, very cheap. So on Bread, we ensure that every transaction, wherever you are in the world, takes nothing less than 2 minutes. So yeah, that's what it is. So you don't need to convert it to anything. Just go on our platform, send it any crypto you have at all. Just go on our platform and get the person's accounts in Nigeria, send it, and it gets there in 2 minutes. Yeah, so that's it.
Without conversion,
you don't need to convert it. We do everything. We do all of those things behind, so you don't need to. Just any cryptocurrency at all you're holding. So just go on our platform and do it, and we handle the rest for you. So the person gets the money in 2 minutes, in less than 2 minutes.
And is this cheaper than the normal transfer that I do? If I go to the bank, I do a wire, I pay like $40 to send money to Nigeria and all that. Is that cheaper?
Okay, so with normal transfer, it takes a while. Sometimes it might take days, but with us, it takes 2 minutes. And yes, it is way cheaper because we are currently charging 0.01%, which means it is less than $1 to send that. So now, imagine you. I think somebody made a post that they were charged about $85 to send $200, but with our platform, all you have to do is just go ahead and send, and you'll be charged less than $1. So now all of this is made possible by cNGN and all. So yeah, faster and way affordable. Yes. Then also, like I said earlier, it comes in 2 minutes, and the beautiful part about it is that whatever cryptocurrency you're holding, you don't need to go and exchange it anywhere. You don't need, just come to our platform and do it. Then we do everything in the back end, and all of this still brings us to the time. All transactions happens in 2 minutes, in less than 2 minutes. Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha, guys. So we've done money transfer first of all from Zen. We've also done from Bread. cNNG, guys, is there any other guys that has not been money transfer or has a different take on using Naira stablecoin?
Yeah, so you mentioned money transfer, obviously for Bread, and you mentioned that as well for Zen. I think Zen also mentioned something slightly beyond money transfer, which is access to investing in Nigerian securities, for example, using other foreign instruments. But then the guys at Tropotech are doing something which is slightly different from money transfers, and if they're available here, and some will be here a while ago. If you're available, you can invite them to the stage. All right, good.
Yeah, Obi is here. Obi. Yeah, hey, you're doing
good evening, everyone.
Good. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the space. We're talking Naira stable coins, the progress so far, for real life applications. What you guys are doing day to day that folks that are not IT can use and feel and amplify. Please go to the floor, sir.
Interesting. Good evening, everyone. Sorry that I joined a bit late, but I'm here. Okay, so Trovotech is one of the startups that got the regulatory approval, to join the regulatory incubation program. Okay, we are building real world asset tokenization solution. Okay, and we have an integrated solution that comprises about 3 interfaces. Two of them are public facing and one is internal. All right, the 2 public facing products are what we call the Trovo app. Trovo app is a tokenization platform that enables the issuance of digital tokens representing real world assets, ownership in real world assets. Okay, it's also a primary offering platform for tokenized assets.
Mm-hmm.
So what Trovo app does is that asset owners come there to tokenize their assets, apply to tokenize the assets. Okay, for those of us who don't understand what that means. So tokenization is a process of representing a physical or intangible asset as digital tokens on the blockchain, in order to enable those assets to be bought, sold, traded, on a global market.
Mm.
That's simply what tokenization means. So to give you a simple example, if I have a real world asset, it can be anything. It can be a hotel, it can be real estate, it can be a housing estate, it can be a refinery, it can be whatever. It can also be a financial instrument like mutual fund, corporate bonds, government bonds, whatever. It can be commodities, warehouse receipt, or SKR, right? When you represent these assets on the blockchain by issuing digital tokens, representing the asset, people can then buy the digital tokens, all right, and they do that using the cNGN as long as the asset is in Nigeria, because one of the requirements from the SEC is that assets that are tokenized in Nigeria must be quoted in Naira.
Mm.
And the easiest way to do that is to use the cNGN to do that. So we've fully integrated the cNGN on our platform, okay, so that people can buy the tokenized assets using the cNGN.
Mm.
Okay, so the second platform is the Trovo P2P. Excuse me. So Trovo P2P is a peer-to-peer non-custodial digital exchange designed to facilitate seamless secondary trading of tokenized assets and other tokens. So imagine that when you offer the tokenized asset in primary offering to investors, institutional and retail investors, when they buy these assets, not only will they be receiving income from the regular income generated by these assets, because actually the assets that are preferred to be tokenized by the regulator are income generating assets. Okay, so because people that buy these assets, they need to be receiving income from the assets.
Mm-hmm.
So apart from the fact that they're going to be receiving regular income from the revenue generated from these assets, you can also have a platform where you can trade the assets. So the digital token representing these assets are tradable tokens on an exchange. So we've also developed a peer-to-peer. By the way, our solution is non-custodial. What that means is that your assets is held by you and you're solely responsible for keeping it. So we don't keep anybody's keys. I don't know the audience here. I don't know if everybody here understands the blockchain space. But for those of us who don't understand it,
No, not really. Let's assume we're all, say, everyday folks, just everyday Nigerian folks. Yeah. So if I understand what you're saying,
let me skip that. Let me skip that because that is not necessary.
Okay.
When someone downloads our app and registers account, is guided through on what to do and how to secure their keys. Okay, so let me not go with that. So, but what I'm trying to say is that the exchange is where people can actually trade the assets that they are holding, and they do that in a peer-to-peer manner. Okay, so but we have what we call the platform controlled escrow system, which enables the seller or the selling peer. So whoever is the one that is the selling peer, if the market maker is the selling peer or the taker is the selling peer, the one that is selling the digital token will be the first to send it to an escrow account. It's only at that point that the digital asset is sent from the user's wallet to the platform controlled escrow account to enable the trade to happen. Okay, so in a nutshell,
Oh, go ahead. This like a non. Is it like the non-fungible token NFTs? Is this what this is? This like the NFTs and all that?
Okay, so no, the token that represents the digital, real world asset that are tokenized on our platform are fungible tokens. They are not non-fungible tokens. So let me give you an example. When you're tokenizing an asset on our platform, you have to give us the details of the assets, also the valuation of the asset, right? So if let's say, for example, an asset you're tokenizing is worth 1 billion naira, you can decide that 500 tokens will be issued representing that asset. So it means that when you sell it to the public, depending on the percentage of the asset you want to sell, because you can decide that you're not selling the whole asset, you can decide to retain some interest in the asset. Let's say if you're retaining 40% in interest in the asset, that means you're going to be raising 600 million from the public. Okay? Now, 600 million is what you're raising. If you're issuing 500 million token for 1 billion value, naira value of an asset, it means that you're going to sell a token for 2 naira, right?
Right.
So, yeah,
give me an example.
So
Give me an example. Give me an example. Okay, give me a real example. What am I selling? Am I selling my car? Am I selling my company? Give me an example. Like some.
Okay, let me give you an example. Let's say I have a company, and my company, we have a couple of assets, and one of the assets we have is a real estate development that comprises, let's say, 200 units of housing, right? Now, normally today, if I want to sell this asset to buyers, I have to look for 200 people that will come and buy houses in that estate, right? And let's say if a house is costing maybe 65 million or 90 million or whatever, 20 million, whatever, just whatever. Okay, I have to look for 200 people that will pay that amount to buy those houses. But if I decide to tokenize this estate and allow 500,000 people to buy it, right? It means that 200 unit estate becomes an asset that is tokenized, the whole asset that is tokenized. Now, the value of this estate, so 50 times 200, right? Okay, so let's say the value of this estate. Let's say the value of this estate is 10 billion or whatever it is. Okay, now it means that 10 billion is the value of the asset. Okay, and if I'm selling, say, 80% of this to the public, I am trying to raise 80% of 10 billion from the public. So anybody that buys that, anybody that invests in that asset, if it's 100,000, you have invest. If it's 1 million, if it's 20 million, you have invest. We are all co-owners of this asset.
Of the relative
now,
project.
among the people that buy this asset, so just 1 minute. Among all the people that are buying this asset, if I have invested like 50 million, and you know that 50 million is worth a complete house in that estate, I am still not owning the house because I am just part of the whole owners. I'm part of the owners of the asset as a whole. Now, if I want to live in that estate, I can still go into agreement with the estate manager or the asset manager to live in that estate. But what it means is that at the end of the month, I'm going to be paying rent. Even though that the rent I'm paying will still come back to me when the distribution of income will happen, because my investment in that asset is what one full house. So it makes it easy for me to just own a house and I'm living in it, but I'm not the one responsible for all the maintenance, the upkeep of the house and all of that.
Very interesting.
I'm just living there. And anytime I want to sell part of that house, remember that I'm holding equivalent of one house in tokens. If I want to sell it, I can go to an exchange and sell maybe 20% of it, and I'm holding 80%, and I'm still living in the house, and I'm still paying the rent. But this time, because I've sold part of my holding, when the decision happens, I'm no longer going to get 100% of the rent that I will get, just 80% because I've sold some. So this is just a practical example of how this works.
Very interesting.
And this can be applied to any other thing.
Very interesting. So let me also use my own example. So if I bought a bus, let's say this luxury buses, can you hear me, Obi?
Yes.
Obi.
I can hear you, Carlo.
Okay. So I was just saying, so if I bought a luxury bus of say 20 million naira, it's possible for me to tokenize that. I don't think Obi can hear me. This side, I want to get my question.
Yeah, am I still on the call? Okay, yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, Obi, just to make it clearer, right? So you are saying that if I buy a bus, if I import a bus that costs 20 million naira, right? It's possible for me to tokenize that bus and sell that bus to 20 million, create 20 million units, and then sell that 20 million units to whoever wants to buy those units. And whoever buys that unit owns that bus. So when that boss does its profit and loss, it then shares it out the same way we share out according to if you were like a shareholder. That's what I understand Obi saying, correct?
That's a way to describe it. Obviously, I mean, if you're going to tokenize any asset, you probably have to pass through certain types of checks, QRC, compliance, things. Yeah, but that's what it is in a nutshell.
But that's what he's trying to exactly. So that makes that's very interesting. Like for rents, if I have a building and I like to build, maybe put up a flat, I could tokenize the land and then get investors. The same way we do crowdfunding right now, but he's bringing in the tokenization into it. And of course, so we're going to use the cNNG to make the payments. Is that it on that platform? That's what's making it different.
Yes, so I mean, because the platform is what's denominated in Naira, so whatever transactions, we're doing that with cNGN. It's just easier because the tokens themselves are also Web3 tokens.
Perfect.
So that exchanges, pretty much native.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I've had 3 examples that I just see that are very, very practical, are doable, and will get a lot of support just from day to day, folks. These are things that people can understand. I want to send money. I want to send money to buy money market. I want to send money to my welfare checks to my mother in the village, and I want to basically raise finance through a non-traditional means of raising finance. These are 3 examples that are just perfect. Are there more?
Drop off the call and join on my computer because people were calling me on the mobile and nothing.
Yeah.
So I think we pretty much summarized what we've heard from Zen Finance, Asset Chain, Bread. There are more people building. Obviously, some people have some other commitments. Some people are probably airborne and couldn't really make it today. So these are the ones that we were able to spotlight today. But very importantly is that the reason why we're spotlighting these people is to show people on the sidelines what is possible and to invite them to start getting innovative, and to also mention that we have ways of providing support to people who are building innovative stuff that ensures that people are able to. The Naira can do a lot more, right? And there's maybe potentially slight reduced dependence, on foreign assets, so to speak, to be able to do things that are denominated in the local currency, right? So this is also like to show people, people might not be, people might be on the side as what exactly can I do with this? But now that you're seeing what people are doing, you probably you're getting some ideas, and we are supporting these people either with grants, developer grants, community grants, or even co-marketing if the idea is solid. I mean, and of course, if the SEC is happy, and then also connecting in with partners in IT, because we've got partners from across the globe. So we're also able to give you, those sorts of partnerships. So it's a call to people who are building. We believe that the cornerstone. We believe that what's cNGN will fly when we have people building interesting things like these other people have been building. And we would like to see more people doing, creative stuff for cNGN and non cNGN. But you put hands are raised. I'm not sure if you wanted to say something, but
So I just before Google jumps in, you're doing grants, you're doing the Web3 based partnerships, you're doing co-marketing. If I am interested in building something in my little backyard, how do I get across you? Do I go to cNGN? How does this work? What do you guys look for?
Yeah, so the information that you need is actually on the website, cngn.co. So you can, and if you want to write to us, you can easily write to the email contact@cngn.co. But a lot of people are even building without necessarily contacting us at first. And how is that possible? It's possible because we have resources for developers on the website. So people are able to actually look at developer documentation and consume the APIs that are available and build interesting things. And only when they probably need some form of support or they want to, partake in some of the things that we mentioned before, do they even reach out. So you don't even need to reach out to cNGN before you start building interesting things. But if you need to reach out to cNGN, information is available on the website. You can easily write contact@cngn.co, or just go to the website cNGN.co to get whatever information you need and reach out to the team.
Love it, love it. Ugo, let's take Ugo's question and we'll go to the floor. If you guys want to ask questions, Ugo, your hand was up. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So, thanks, Carlo. So, when I spoke, there are a couple of things I didn't mention. Other applications that are already here. I know you gave some of the statistics on cNGN numbers when, in terms of, on-chain transactions have gotten to over 50 something thousand as opposed to, was it 30 or 300 or some low numbers?
Yeah.
So on asset chain, is also on this role, on this speaker position. Asset chain is a layer 1 blockchain, right? And on asset chain, one thing we did was we solved a major problem with Nigeria's FX or access to, FX. So usually when people, we're still in the process of solving the problem, but it's live now. So when people want to trade, for example, today is Sunday, it's impossible for somebody to actually buy FX from the market. It's possible for maybe some people to go buy dollar. They'll tell you, okay, to wait for Monday, let them give you rates and all those things. The only way crypto solves it is through P2P. But P2P channels are riddled with fraud. Like maybe you see P2P channels like on Bybit and all. People get scammed, or maybe they send Naira to somebody's bank account. The person doesn't send them the USDT or the crypto equivalent, and they start to complain because this is handled by third parties who are not always verified. Now, what we did was we built a decentralized exchange. It's similar to Uniswap, right? People can really do a quick check. It's a non-custodial decentralized exchange, so it's a non-custodial system. And what it means is that there is USDT and cNGN pair. This has never been possible before. Without cNGN, this would never be possible. So now you can trade cNGN for USDT even now. So we launched this in July. Middle of June, around middle of June. Between then and now, we've done over $2.6 million in trading volume. These are real people that are trading. So you don't need to call somebody, I want to do P2P. Send me something on my WhatsApp. No, you can actually access Naira any time of the day without talking to anybody. How it solves this problem for two parties, the traders and for the merchants, the P2P merchants. Usually the P2P merchants are the ones that have liquidity. But on this decentralized exchange, they don't need to talk to anybody. You can just go and add liquidity to the exchange. For every transaction, you're getting about 0.3% in fees. So your money is there and is working for you. So people might not be big traders, but they might have liquidity. They can just go to their DEX and put their money, and they control the money. We don't control it. And as traders are trading, as they are swapping cNGN for USDT or USDT for cNGN, in real time, these guys are making their fees. Currently, we have a liquidity, the total liquidity depth is still small because it's new. It's, I think, about $115,000 or $117,000 in debt. That's cNGN USDT combined, and everything is transparent. So it's not like maybe someone is just generating figures. Everything is on the blockchain, is transparent. So this has solved that problem of people accessing FX, at least at an early stage. The goal is to be able to deepen this liquidity to millions of dollars, $10 million, $20 million. Yeah. And what that will do is anybody from anywhere, and the good thing about the decentralized exchange is that anybody can connect to it. So usually when developers want to build, what they usually do, they talk to people like Flutterwave, Paystack, or some banks to get APIs or access to their systems.
Yeah.
Now, before you connect to these systems, most of those systems will ask, the paperwork is crazy, and apart from that, you have limited liquidity you can access. Maybe they tell you that maximum you can trade in a day is $1,000, $300. For maybe someone who has huge demand, maybe they'll tell you $10,000 per person or per account, which is ridiculous. But with a decentralized system, you don't need to talk to anybody. The APIs, and that's why I think Victor, I think he was saying something about, connecting, like people don't even need to talk to them. And it's true. People are building currently on cNGN without talking to anybody. They just go to these DEX. They are building apps that allow people to trade Nigerian Naira for US dollar, and they connect directly. It's permissionless. The smart contracts are there. You can connect instantly, and you can trade at any time of the day. So this is another deep problem that has been there that people can't access FX. But with this cNGN accelerating the process and paired with USDT and USDC, people can now access this, at any time. I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for that feedback. So, do you have questions? You don't go to the floor now. Lots of folks have been here listening patiently. Want to get a few questions in. I've got Jamal. I've got Jamal and Oye. Jamal, let's get you. Hi, welcome. And you've been here from the very start. Jamal, your hand is up. Do you have any comments, questions, clarifications you'd like to make?
Yo, GM, thanks for having me. It is a very, very insightful space. I love spaces like this. It gives the Nigerian space hope and clarity and also direction. I mean, it's one thing hearing certain people talking about different stuff, but this is more indigenous and hearing now how far and how smart our digital our currency the CBDC is now like the cNGN, and how smart it has become, and how these products here, assets, asset chain, Zen Finance, Bread, and has actually been utilized this product. It's very, very interesting, and it gives us hope in the system. I mean, if you look at the latest fact, I've forgotten the figure. I mean, billions of dollars worth of transactions have been carried out by USDT. Carried out on USDT. There were several utilities. Now, imagine a good percentage of that money are carried out have been done by us, we Nigerians, you understand? So imagine if rather than we using USDT or USDC and DAI and the likes of all those stable coins, we use our own stable coins, increasing the liquidity of the Naira. It gives our local currency more strength as I'm moving forward. And so permit me to introduce myself. I'm Jamal Damani, and I'm the SMM lead and academy lead for Boundless Pay. They're down here in the listener section. So this is just a similar product to what Zen and Bread are about. And one thing that actually makes us stand out is we make the cNGN more smarter, in terms of lending and staking. We don't just want to just make the cNGN just like a currency that just is sitting dock here in your wallet. You want to make it in the way whereby you can be earning passively from just holding your precious Naira in a digitalized form. So it's really amazing. I don't want to take up much time because there are a lot of speakers here. A lot of people are actually requested for the mic. And I see of the founder is also down there, Mr. Franklin Peters here. So all in all, it's been an amazing space so far, and I really, really love seeing more of these innovations in the Nigerian space moving forward. And we love to see products like this scale up and become a global brand, not just a Nigerian or a Pan-African thing. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Those are great comments, Jamal. I really do appreciate it. Again, like I'm a civilian here, right? But I'm just blown away by the depth and the scale of what people are building. I want to see more of this, because all we're doing now is increasing the adaptation of the Naira. Not just the stable Naira, but the Naira itself is getting more adaptability. People don't have to convert to dollar, So if we know that if I'm in Houston, I'm in China, there's a way I can send my Naira or my yuan to Nigeria, and it's cheaper than doing a wire. People will adopt it. But these are going further by adding all these benefits and features in. So I love it. I love what I'm hearing, so I appreciate that. I've got Dev Musty Open Network. I'm not sure if you can hear me. DevMusty.ton at Dev_Musty. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me. It's me actually.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here actually. Mr. Kalu, GM, cNGN. I can see Mr. Ogochukwu, Victor. I can see there was Mr. Charles, GM, everyone actually. I don't have any question actually. I'm just here to support actually being, part of the branch, one of the branch of the cNGN actually. So,
excellent.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kalu, for bringing.
Perfect. I think we appreciate your support. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Let's get Oye. Oye, how you doing? Oye Shubo, Wally Benson. Oh, yeah, Shabola Benson. How you doing?
How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
All right, how you doing? Glad to be here, and I'm glad that you gave me the floor to speak. I've been having some questions to ask the team. So first of all, I'm a public servant by profession, and I'm also a sovereign blockchain architect. I don't know if anybody knows what that means, but I have like a twofold question for the cNGN team. First one is, if the cNGN is regulated by the SEC or pegged to the Naira and is hosted on blockchains like Ethereum, how do they reconcile the sovereignty gap that creates? Specifically, how can Nigerians trust a monetary policy that remains under CBN's control when neither the SEC or Ethereum, like a chain like Ethereum, have direct sovereign accountability? That's one.
Good question.
Second, cNGN claims to align with global best practices, but their taxation reports, which are available on their website, is only up to June. Could they clarify how the project ensures continuous transparency and whether users can expect a clear schedule of disclosures going forward? Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Ye, for those questions. Your questions. I would probably need a bit more clarity on question one, because I need you to understand what you mean by sovereign accountability. And then it's exactly, especially
monetary policy is directly under the purview of the CBN, right? Yes or no?
So he's saying that essentially the CBN runs the Naira. The SEC does not run the Naira. SEC runs securities. So in effect, how are you guys going to?
So this should be under. I mean, this should probably be under the purview of CBN. Two ways to answer this question. First and foremost is, when this project started, CBN were actually the first to be approached by what we're trying to do, because again, if you look at the beginning of this particular project, they've worked hand in hand with regulators on different things, such as even tracking stolen funds and doing on-chain surveillance or other on-chain audits, forensics, and things like that. So CBN were actually the first to be approached. CBN categorically, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, had said this is under SEC's purview. SEC people were bold enough to say, okay, we know the value of this, and we're going to allow this to thrive. And so they came up with a framework. And thankfully, not only did they come up with a framework for us to actually be that protects consumer interest, the Investment and Securities Act that was enacted, I think, sometime in March, also gave them the power and the backing to be the ones to regulate this asset. But even at that, we understand that this is a payment stablecoin at the end of every day. We know, or we hear, or we generally expect that the CBN is actually interested in this space and things are actually being done for them to get involved in this space. This is not novel to Nigeria. In the United States, for example, for the longest period of time, the SEC and even the CFTC have been the ones playing in this particular space. The biggest stablecoin today, USD Tether, ran into problems with the New York Attorney General and the CFTC and had to pay a lot of fines. It wasn't until July that the Genius Act actually specifically came and said, look, we're going to end this turf war between the SEC and the CFTC. We're going to create a different framework. We're going to ensure we're going to put this directly under the remit of the Office of the Controller of Currency, the OCC in the US. And they'll be responsible for everything that has to do with payment stablecoins. So we can expect that with what's happening with the Genius Act, what we'll see in Singapore, Hong Kong, and the rest of these other parts of the world, that our CBN will also be proactive enough to get into this space, and we can remove some of these stuff or some of this lack of clarity. Now, so going into accountability and linking that into attestation, the attestation reports are there. Initially, we're submitting monthly to SEC, and we're trying to update on our websites on a quarterly basis. But sometime I think in May, if memory serves, we decided to start uploading monthly attestation reports to the website. But because we will not rest on our laurels, we recognize that many of the popular stablecoins that people are very happy about today, some of them are still riddled with controversy. Some of them, for so many years, they were not accountable to people using them. But we said, look, we will take a better route, right? We have the benefit of hindsight. We decided that we're going to improve even the accounting standard, and we're going to use a more robust accounting standard for our reporting, and that's why the attestation reports for July took a bit of time. And I invite you, once this gets published this week, or once it gets published on the website this week, to compare the structure with what we've had up until June, so that you can maybe understand some of the the reason why this has taken a bit of time. That being said, we are trying internally. We're trying to commit to ensuring that we have these attestation reports out within 2 weeks of the previous reporting period. So we hope that will happen. People should also understand that this is very new in this particular space. We look at things, we see what's happening abroad. We do not consider the history and those particular places and infrastructure that those particular places have that allows them to be able to do certain things. Here, we tried to even get the big names, to do attestation, but many of them are not even familiar with this practice, and they had to, kind of turn it down. Thankfully for us, we're able to find people who have a bit of experience in this space who decided, they're going to use their expertise to do attestations for us. So people should always, have a 360 understanding of the context and the reason why things are happening. But that's a very important question. This is all about transparency. For daily records, so to speak, you can see things, on-chain transactions. You can always see that on the website of cNGN and CEO. But for the monthly attestations that are being done by an independent party, we can expect to get them, let's say, about 2 weeks from the last reporting period, hopefully. And of course, we also welcome regulation from the CDN. Should and when they eventually get into this space, we are pro regulation. We're happy, to play by whatever rules the CDN, brings on board. But we're happy also with what the SEC has done so far, with their bravery, to actually fashion in how we're able to get to this point so far. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Oye.
Not 100%, but I'm not going to drag you in this space because I know other people I want to speak. But I'm going to hold you and see if you provide those attestation reports, because I've been following closely, and to date, you have said it, but you haven't done it. So I don't want to drag you.
To be clear, July attestation reports is what we're referring to at this moment. Attestation reports up to June are available. You can see it on the website, and I think I can say categorically that July, which is the only one which is pending at the moment. As you can expect, we're still in August, right? So as you can expect, the last edition.
This is the last day in August, so. All right, so this is last day in August. So you're going to have it to us in 2 weeks? That's 2 months. That's a 2-month gap. So you're saying that you're going to have it in 2 weeks, but we don't have it. So till we have it, it's still a 2-month gap. And I don't want to drag it, but we'll look forward to having your attestation reports for the last 2 months. Because today's the 31st. Tomorrow's the 1st of September. Thank you.
That's fine. That's fine. You will get it. Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Oye.
Yeah.
I'm glad people like this. People like this keep us honest. It shows that people are interested in what we're doing. So we definitely encourage conversations that actually puts the team on their toes and ensure that they're doing stuff that will contribute to the resilience of the project. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I think the question was fantastic, especially the monetary policy side was fantastic, and I think your response was also fantastic. So that was a great exchange there. I'll let you guys just finish that. Let's get Wura. I got Web3 for All, web host, content writer, and a digital financial inclusion person. Web3 for All, you've got the floor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for giving me the mic. Yeah, good evening, everyone. All protocols duly observed. Forgive me, I may not be able to acknowledge everyone I need to acknowledge at this point. Once again, all protocols duly observed. Yeah, I want to sincerely thank you, Kalu, for putting up this space. It's as if it was actually for me, because there are some issues I've been needing to get clarified about. And thank you for everyone that has taken time to actually explain this product. Now I'm talking about cNGN. Now I'm coming from the perspective of everyday people. Now let me paint a scenario. The challenge I have actually found with the everyday Nigerian, even though this product it's a global product, and the problem, the situation, the scenario I want to paint kind of is still a global scenario. Now, somebody is planning to execute a project in 5 years' time, and the person is not buoyant enough to do that without planning to save towards it. And the person is a business person, and the person starts saving. Okay, I want to, probably the person wants to build, and he has taken, the market survey of what items cost. I start saving. Now, getting in that 5 years' time, the time he wants to execute this project, the person is faced with the reality that the money he or she has saved is not actually able to execute this project because the value of the fiat has actually depreciated. Now, that brings the idea, okay, what if these everyday people start saving making this saving in digital Naira? At that point, I was actually thinking about USDT or USDC. And now, someone asked me, wouldn't that amount to money laundering? Well, I did my research and got to understand that no, so provided it is not shady, there is transparency, and the money is not good for a normal person to be doing small saving converting the Naira to USDC or USDT. It will not amount to money laundering. That was the information I had at that point. Then I came across this Zen Finance, and now got to know about cNGN. Now, with the education, with the enlightenment you have done, I'm really impressed. Well, one question I want to ask now, when an ordinary person converts his Naira to cNGN, does that stabilize the value of that Naira? That's my question.
It's a simple answer. It shouldn't. It's just the same Naira. So it's just the same Naira you have, just in a different form.
Okay, that's good. Now, I want to ask, the very scenario I painted, how can that be achieved with what with this product Zen Finance has played?
Are you asking how you can stabilize the value of a Naira? Is that your question?
Yes, using Zen Finance, please. For me now, let me myself as an example that I'm a normal person using Naira, and I want to be saving making my savings in dollars, in stable, whatever.
Gotcha.
So
I think you ask a very, very good question, because most people would look at, like, that's why I asked the question at the very, very beginning, just for the audience. I said, what is stable about the stable coin? So the Naira itself is a currency that is managed by the central bank, and all currencies on earth rise and fall due to many factors that I don't think a product like Zen or any product here can determine the value or the direction of the Naira. If we export more, the Naira will rise. If we print more, the Naira will fall, and that is outside the direct purview. But you're asking a question that, okay, even if we know that, is it possible for a small saver to be able to, put money somewhere and be able to ensure the value does not fall? I think I would advise diversification. Whilst the cNNG allows you, to access this market internationally in a cheaper, more efficient manner, simply staying in one currency exposes you to risk of one currency. So irrespective of what cNNG can do, which is to make that process cheaper, easier, faster, to secure the value of any commodity, including the US dollar, you'll have to diversify. So not having all your eggs in one currency, but sort of having them in many. So what cNNG is doing is not to keep the Naira stable. It's to allow you to do that trade and to do that financial goal in a cheaper, faster, more efficient way. That's basically how I'll answer that question. It's not really that question, it's more of a question for you and I do financial literacy.
Thank you very much, Kalu. I think you answered that perfectly. This is also slightly for my Oga Kalu, if I'm allowed to publicly chastise you, and I mean this as joking. Yeah, it's cNGN.
I do have
Not
cNGN, CNG. Yeah, I
cNGN.
gotta put it in my head. Yeah, I see it,
Yeah,
but when I say it,
it's okay.
it comes out differently.
It's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
I understand. It's all
Gotcha.
okay. Yeah.
So let's get. I think we've got Oluwa Sheun on Chain Conference. Oluwa Sheun, thanks again for hanging out and just waiting for your turn. Go ahead, sir. Go to the floor.
Hi, Carlo. Good evening. Hi, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity. It's been great listening to the cNGN team. I spoke with Mr. Charles at our event on Thursday, and it was really productive. And I just want to, but there was something that I that I was asking, and I don't think I got an answer to it. And I'm just going to paint a little, not a scenario, just context, right? It is that Africa is a low trust society, right? For various reasons, and I think it's also important to make sure that we're not then comparing everything to say a USDT, things that originate from higher trust societies. So the question would be, what are the steps that the cNGN team are taking, or maybe based on that experience, to improve trust in cNGN? Again, there's been conversation. Even you have the attestation on your website and all of that. Unfortunately, people don't seem satisfied with that, even though that is what every other stablecoin issuer does. They basically self-attest, so to speak. But there's a way that people just say, "Oh, that's on your website." So I guess the question is around what's tangible in Africa or in Nigeria particularly. You kind of have to almost always adjust things to the market to fit it. So that's the first question. And the second question is around yield-bearing stablecoin. That is one of the trends in the stablecoin market right now. Is there any plan for cNGN to generate yield? Because at the end of the day, the actual Naira is being held in assets that are generating some yield. That do you have plans to pass that down to holders in future? Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that's Mr. Oluwaseun. So, Mr. Oluwaseun, the first question about trust. The best way you can show trust is an ongoing conversation, right? And the best way to keep building trust or increasing trust is to keep showing up, right? And at the very beginning of this project, this project would have taken off years ago, but because we wanted, to have a bit of that trust label, was why we decided to engage all the regulators, right? We told them, look, we're willing to work with the rules that you set, right? We're willing to do all of this. So we've done that part. Now, the more people adopt, the more people test the resilience, the more people can say, okay, this is trustworthy, or at least they're willing to trust it. Even case in point, even the USDT, it wasn't trusted. It's the most liquid stablecoin today, but it wasn't trusted. I mean, I've been old enough in this space, so to speak, to remember all the FUD and all the things and attacks that USDT used to get. Not like they stopped getting them, but it's kind of reduced more. People are probably praising them more. But back then, it was as if some people were paid attackers. Agendas always coming and saying things like that. But the more people started to use and trust it, and USDT kept showing up for them, they started trusting. Now you can see a trend as well. I mean, it's still early days, but you can see a trend as well, even with cNGN adoption. Coming from a place where you had just 4,400 tokens and all of that stuff, we gave all these metrics at the beginning, and you can see the growth there. That growth is not going to happen if people are not starting to test the waters and starting to get the trust. So, like I said, trust is an ongoing conversation. It is earned, not necessarily given, especially in a society like this. And the more we keep showing up, and the more we keep doing things to ensure the resilience of the product, and the more we keep accepting criticism, constructive criticism from outside, and keep fortifying the walls, the more people can trust us. So that's our response to your question about trust. On yield-bearing stablecoins, unfortunately, this is, as someone has said before, this is a case, and it is designed as such. As much as people will build products, that can generate yield, the stablecoin itself, by its design, being a payment stablecoin, It's not built to actually generate yield. And if you look at the trend across the globe, you look at things, you look at the Genius Act, you look at Singapore Mass, you look at Hong Kong Ordinance, you look at Japan Payment Services Act, you look at MiCA, you look at the UAE VAR, you look at all these regulations across the globe. There is something that they all converge on. Payment stablecoins should not be yield bearing, right? Now, if you want to create a different stablecoin that should yield bearing, you could create a different product. That would definitely be under the regulator, the purview of the SEC. That's possible. You could do that. The cNGN could decide, or someone else could decide to do that. But as for us, it's not built to be a yield bearing stablecoin. But people are able to build such products around it simply because of the flexibility and the versatility of the product itself. So yeah, the yield that you see today, some practice across the globe, is kept by the companies who are doing that because there's a lot that goes into running a stable coin. It's not just a case of you're collecting money and putting it into high quality assets. If you the lights on, doing a lot of security expenses, you're probably even losing money initially, right? But you're able to get sufficient liquidity. So it's not as straightforward as just saying, when you're holding money, you're putting it there, so please share this across. So I hope that answers your question. Probably not what you're trying to, well, not, I don't know if that's a question you were expecting to get, but I just have to be brutally honest to say that's the scenario today. Mr. Lester, does that answer you, sir?
Thank you. Not really, but I guess.
You can, if you want to follow up with another question, and what's not clear, so that we can try to clarify.
So on the trust part, I'll just leave that as it is, and as you said it, and then let's see what happens over time. I guess my point on that is that we live in a very unique society, and you kind of always have to adjust things to the reality on ground, and that is the context from which I understand your situation around USDT trust in the early days and all of that, and even till date, it's still happening. But I'll leave that. But on the you mentioned something that the consensus around the world is that yield payment stablecoin should not be yield generating. I'm trying to understand the logic behind that. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I invite you to look at, if you have the time, or if such kind of topics interest you, to have a look at some of these frameworks that I kind of mentioned for the US, for Europe, for Singapore, for Hong Kong. The means of payments, when you start getting yield, then you have security, right? And then you are directly obviously under the purview of SEC. That's not to say that security cannot be used as means of payments. Different particular parts. If you're in prison, for example, people use, we've been told that people use cigarettes for payments. So substance over form in certain cases, and some cases over substance. But if you bear the label of payment stablecoin, you're expected to focus on payments. And I believe that part of the reason why this is happening across the globe is also because regulators are trying to protect the banks. So because then if you have a stablecoin that's providing yields that are even higher than what the banks are giving, then what's the incentive to propose actually go to the banks and make deposits or even try to apply for loans? And this is just my thinking about perhaps the wisdom behind why the different regulators across the globe are specifically saying that no yield bearing. So if you just check all those frameworks, I invite you to do that in your spare time. That is an area of convergence that we're seeing today. It's not to say that will forever be the case, but that's what we're seeing today. And actually, when a lot of people are doing this, you can expect that more people who are coming out probably gravitating towards that direction. So you can expect, at least, again, like I said, nothing is ever cast in stone, but you can expect that it will be that way. And if CBN decides to come into this stage, they may decide that this is what's going to happen, and they may decide that, oh, indeed, you can become yield bearing. And if such were to be the case, then yes, maybe cNGN can decide to play in that space. But as it is right now, it's a payment, and it will remain for payments. So people like Zen Finance are building stuff. So if that's what you're trying to get exposure, for example, to yield that comes from investment securities, you could consider. This is not necessarily an endorsement. Ugo can speak more to that, but you could consider platforms like that are actually making it easy for you to be able to participate in those markets using any kind of currency that you have from across the globe.
All right, thank you. I do have more questions from what you said, but just in the interest of time, we'll probably take it off this place and then engage further. Thank you.
Awesome, cool stuff. Happy to engage further. Thank you very much again. I have a brilliant question. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Love it. Love all the question. Sorry about perfect. Thanks, Alfred. So, I mean, for interest of time, let's just get three folks, and then we'll just sort of get those questions in. I've got Franklin. Let me see. Then Eden. Eden Finance has not spoken.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. So Eden, Franklin, and I believe it's going to be Ibrahim or so. So Eden, please go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you for the mic. And this has been a very engaging space, and it's so inspiring to be in the presence of so many thought leaders in the space as well. So to give a bit of context and background, EdenFi is a ERC 4337 wallet, enabling users to send stablecoins across borders, off-ramp into their local currencies, and also chat and engage with friends and family through our social features on the mobile application. So what particularly interests me about the Nigerian stablecoin at the moment is we're currently using USDC stablecoin. We're currently operational on base chain, and I'm very sort of aware that in terms of moving forward, I don't believe this is the best way to proceed in terms of the dollarization. We're very aware of this, and we're very aware that currently in Africa, a lot of stable coins that are being used are backed by the dollar, right? Which inevitably means that you're not using your native currency. So in terms of moving forward, cNGN really, really intrigues us, and it's definitely something that we intend to enable within our mobile application. But what I'm particularly interested in is what things are being implemented by cNGN that is actually encouraging adoption at the moment. Because we see stablecoins at the moment. Stablecoins are everywhere. MetaMask just released their stablecoin. It seems like they're the way forward right now. But it's one thing to release a stablecoin, it's another thing to encourage adoption, and real adoption where it makes sense, right? If it doesn't make sense for the users that are currently using our mobile application via USDC based chain, because maybe they're hedging against inflation, or simply because it's more accessible, right? You can get USDC on base chain, you can get it on numerous different blockchains, on numerous different ecosystems, so it's more accessible. So, but back to my original point, are there any measures being put in place right now that encourages users to use cNGN rather than USDC or USDT or all the other options that are available on the market right now?
Okay, so I don't know if Ugo wants to take that, but I can go. You've asked a very interesting question. And again, remember that this project launched in February, right? Our goal is to increase adoption by enhancing accessibility, liquidity, and what's the other one? I think ubiquity as well, right? It's only good that you said you can access USDC on base. I can do that for cNGN today as we speak. In fact, I can, from my Rainbow wallet, I can pretty much convert all my airdrops that I get directly into cNGN as we speak today. So that's already happening. cNGN, you can access it on base with any asset that's on chain, right? Over time, as you get more people coming in, you would definitely see liquidity increase. Liquidity is not, obviously, like you would know, it's not built in a day. But another important part that I need to mention is that the more people build use cases that are real, not just hype-based, the more people actually build use cases that are real, the more demand there will be. When we first started, we had a certain amount of demand, but when we started, the people from Asset Chain and Zentrader started building things, and the brands of this world started building things, we started to see increase in volume, right? So this would only that's why cNGN is the cNGN team encourages people, developers, and that's why if you were here earlier, we had said we encourage developers through community/developer grants. If we think that what you're doing is good for the ecosystem, and it's something that obviously we think that our regulators will be happy with, we also encourage them, those who are building, by introducing them, with our network of global partners, and also doing co-marketing for them. So we know that the adoption of cNGN will be fueled by more use cases being built by innovators, right? And of course, more liquidity that's being pumped into the system as more trust gets in there. So, as a question, I don't know if Charles wants to add this or Ugo wants to speak to this or wants to make some addition to this. But in a nutshell, just remember that every popular stablecoin that you see today started from a particular place. And they only grew as more demand, as people started trusting them, as more people started building things around them. And the more this happens with cNGN, the more you'll see liquidity grow, the more you see more people coming to build, and the more the trust factor increases. Mr. Eden.
Let me just add something here. So, I've been on, I think when this product launched, I think the previous space, someone asked this question, I think a couple of spaces, again, people were like, okay, how are cNGN people doing, creating room for adoption? I'll be very honest and blunt about this thing. cNGN has done the work. It's left for people who want to build to actually do the rest. I mean, getting this license is not easy. Discussing with the Nigerian government, if you have tried it before, is on another level. There's a limit to what these guys can do. Even when I hear about the grant, I'm like, how much are we even talking about here? There's just 600 million naira on chain. Also when I hear about the attestations, it's not bad. But we're looking at 600 million, and these things were supposed to be released on a quarterly basis. And now they even changed and said, look, we'll be doing it on a monthly basis because there's a certain format change. There's some delay. This is not a problem. I think that we should be looking at how do we grow that liquidity? How do we get 5 billion, 10 billion, 20 billion? That is when people start to listen. And this is not even about maybe one company or it's not about cNGN as a team. It's about us. For example, when I was in the US, I had 2 companies, one asset-based, another one I won't mention their name now because they don't want to be out there. One of them is from Bank of America. And what are they doing? They want, some guys in the US want to invest in the money market like Carlo was saying. It was like, oh, he just took the words right out of my mouth. But these guys they want to invest, so they are building on asset chain and Zen Finance. Why? Because they've seen that, wow, you can get higher yields from Nigeria. So they want to allocate certain amount of capital, but they are building a complete product around it. This is how you attract liquidity. So it's the job of the builders to talk about what they've done, to attract liquidity, to convince a lot of people. When this whole thing started, it was still really small. I think on asset chain, then we were still, I think, about 1 million or 2 million naira in cNGN, right? But we don't have any, like asset chain as a company, has Zen that funded everything. But guess what? Now, I spoke to bankers, I spoke to guys in Wall Street, talking to them gradually. Now we're sitting at over 200 million in cNGN supply. From these people, they don't know the cNGN team. I'll be honest. It is me that they know, me Ugochukwu around that they know. They don't care about the cNGN team, and that is how we should be. We should be doing the work. These guys in America have crazy risk capital. We should talk to them and bring that capital here. And because the channel is now available for us to move the money quickly without having to deal with so much problems, banking issues and all that, this is an entirely new monetary system that I think we are sitting on, and we don't understand the value that it has presented to us, right? There's something I would like to end with. If you look at people like Tony, Elumelu, Herbert, God rest his soul, Jimovia, and all these banking guys, if they were at this age, they will not be talking about Naira. They will do whatever it takes to build all the value around the blockchain, right? I'm not saying they will do it legally or illegally, but you guys get what I'm saying. The point is that we are not aggressive enough, and we need to be. We've seen companies from America even lose people's money. Look at FTX. How many billion? Does it have about 7 or 15 billion? And the world is running. We're looking at 600 million naira. Less than how much? That's less than $500,000. We have a lot of work to do. So it's not just the cNGN team has done a lot, and they are still building. I think it's the builders, the people who have seen the value, right? We are the ones that are supposed to take the bull by the horn and bring in that liquidity, because it's going to drive not just adoption, it's also going to make more money and create more business opportunities for us. We don't need to wait for the banks anymore. And whenever people say, oh, Nigeria is slow in crypto, I'm like, not necessarily. This SEC, for the SEC to do this, big kudos to them, because they are giving some people, licenses and all that, which is great, just to test. So this is an opportunity to take it and run with it. I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
All right, that was very passionate. Thank you for that. We hear that passion live. Franklin, and I believe it's going to be Ibrahim. Take us home, please. Franklin, then Ibrahim. Go ahead.
Hi, GMGM, everybody. Good evening. My name is Franklin Peters. I'm the CEO of RNSP. Great stuff. I've been listening in. I've enjoyed from beginning since when I joined until now. And you know, the whole topic of cNGN is something I'm very happy and passionate about because you know there's a whole lot of things around it. Some days ago, I came on LinkedIn and I saw some people making some comments on LinkedIn like he was, you know, there's this obsession about cNGN. And I took some time to go through it and I'm like, why? Like, why does this always happen in Nigeria? Why is it that when, at least for the first time, you know, we take the bull by the horn, we're trying to do some stuff. You don't need to wait for CBN to kind of, do you really expect them to be all over the place, like to give you like a head start? No. First, the whole delay is one way I believe that you know kind of them testing if the people who are pushing for this cNGN launch if they are really serious about what they want to do. And as soon as SEC came in, boom, we see stuff's happening. For me, it is on us as a people, right, to really understand that the world is moving and is not waiting for anybody. If we don't make a move, then we'll be lagging behind, like we'll be at the back when the whole world is moving. There are lots of other countries that have their own stable coins. They are moving ahead. I've been in Dubai, and every day you see people, different countries, and I'm not talking about cryptocurrency events. I'm talking about proper government events. Today, the Dubai government is doing something on stable coins. So why is it? I think everybody should just rally around and support the project. For us at Boundless Pay, what we're doing today is from day one, with our goal is payments, and in Boundless Pay we've listed cNGN. You can do a lot of stuff with cNGN and Boundless Pay, like pay bills and the rest. But from next week, in GTEX event, we are going to be rolling out the next version of Boundless Pay, which focuses in on global remittance payments to over 75 countries. And you can do it directly with your stable coins, especially CNGN. We're going to be prioritizing that. We're going to be showcasing. I'm going to be speaking in GTEX as well. So my focus there is talk about cNGN. That's what I'm going to be doing. And it's a promise. And what I'm going to be showcasing how you can use cNGN to send money to over 75 countries already from Boundless Pay. You know, I remember back in the day, like in 2015, trading Bitcoin, you could only trade it against Ethereum. For those who started trading as far back as then would understand what I'm saying, right? Imagine trading two highly volatile assets. I used to trade in Bittrex and one Polynest. And you trade volatile assets against volatile assets. And when the market wants to tank, both your profit and your capital together. And then someone, you know, at some point, we started seeing USDT getting listed in multiple exchanges, and people were in Bitcoin talk bashing USDT. The same USDT today is doing nearly $1 trillion. You know, like 80% of stablecoin trading volume, like it's over $1.5 trillion trading volume. You know, it's done on you know, stable coins globally, and over 80% of it is being done on USDT alone. So it's growing, and in the next 10 years, it's not going to be the same. So let's rally around, let's support the cause, and let's make this thing work. Thank you, everybody.
Perfect. Love that. Love that. Love that. Ibrahim, take us home. We've been here, give or take, about an hour 35. Ibrahim, thanks for hanging in there. Take us home. I've got Boss Ibrahim Ambali. Go for it. I'm sure he can hear me. Going once, going twice.
Please, if Ibrahim is not there, Charles is raising up, Chima is raising up his hand.
Yeah, Chima, please go ahead. Let Chima take some. Jim, I don't want to take us home. Yeah, thanks for being yeah, go for it, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Good day, wherever you are. My name is Charles, Chima Charles Okafomba. I'm actually the CTO and one of the directors in cNGN and also co-founder at Convexity. Well, this space, we actually wanted more of those that are building to talk, to speak to this space, and also to encourage those that are having doubts regarding the cNGN and trust. I was at a roundtable discussion the other day, and I believe those questions that were asked at that roundtable was quite insightful, especially when I got back to the team around the cNGN, which is why we are here. So for everybody that want to use the cNGN, for everybody that are critiquing, for those that are critiquing, for those that are building as well, we encourage you to see it as what we are doing as an infrastructure. We've built something that you can build upon. And honestly, it's the regulatory side of it is one big tax. The operational side is also another tax. And then even building the infrastructure itself is also a very big work, which we are not complaining. But we just want to encourage us all to keep on building and keep on using cNGN in our different solutions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Victor, you brought a great team here this Sunday, and I think, let me speak for the civilians here. I think the comments have been very, very positive. I think you've been able to explain what the Naira stable coin is, the cNGN. We understand it better now. We've seen real life applications. So this thing is just starting out. We are literally at the nascent stage now. The future looks very, very bright. What are your closing thoughts on this?
My closing thoughts will be we encourage people to build or even to just get more curious. We've always known that Nigeria has a lot of talents, right? Unfortunately, a lot of these talents get exploited. I don't know if that's unfortunate or I don't want to be simplistic about that. We want more people coming on board to build on cNGN or build a cNGN. I mentioned before that we provide support in different ways. Through those developer grants or community grants. Sometimes we link you with people, members of our ecosystem, that might probably help you improve your product or help you actually get your product to market if that's possible. And then also co-marketing where we are allowed to do that by the regulator. We hope that we've been able to show more people what this product is able to do. And again, this is just a start, right? We want Nigeria to be a powerhouse when it comes to this particular innovation. We know that it's a regional stable coin, but there's so much the payment space can get a lot of improvements, with it. Like people just taking advantage of the programmability of this particular, of cNGN, for example, and how it helps with fast and instant and cheaper settlements. All right. So thanks to everyone who's joined the space. I see that Victor Komafi is raising up his hand. I'm not sure if we have time for that. Can we take?
Yeah, of course.
Consider this as my closing message. But thanks to everyone who's been here. Thanks to all the contributors. Thanks for all the questions. The questions are making us more resilient, making us more thoughtful. In your own way, please keep contributing to the general discourse. Constructive criticism is welcome. But let's see this as something to be proud of, or something. Let's have a genuine thoughts behind this. We're very quick to adopt things, global solutions, things from other places. And I understand this society. There's a bit of there's that trust issue that a gentleman had alluded to before. But how do we build trust? How do we prove it when we're not even appropriate things that we're doing internally? We're very quick, to learn what people are doing abroad. And when those things they're doing abroad, when they fail, we just, say, oh, just another one, and we move. We just move on. But when our own baby is growing, we're very quick to say, oh, it will fail, it will fail. Come on, guys. Let's have a mindset reset, and let's support local. And then, I don't know, Victor, if you can say what you need to say in a few words, and then we can just wrap this up.
Yeah, Victor, go for it.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Kalu Aja, thank you so much, sir. And what makes this interesting is the fact that
you have been in this journey with the cNGN team. So I speak today to appreciate everyone that has, I think I see over 200 and something, almost 300 people here. And the last words that I just want to say is an invitation. Invitation to people that are building. It will shock everybody here to know that at the Pan-African level, which I speak, again by way of introduction, I'm a co-founder with the blockchain that cNGN is using today, the native blockchain Bantu. Also work directly with Afrexim Bank, Pan-African Payment Settlement System. And at a private level, I would say we are using cNGN already. And I'm inviting a key bunch of most of us, like the likes of Ugochukwu, Boundless Pay. In the month of September, a lot is already happening at the Pan-African level to push this beyond not just only Nigeria, but across other African countries. And things are happening. Things are happening with corporates, huge corporates already, using this to move nothing less than $5 to $16 million on a daily basis. I can say this authoritatively. But because of the poor, I would say, knowledge, and if you are working with organizations where central bank sits as on the board, you want to also understand there's a political angle to every single thing, and we live in a world where certain things, when it comes to building in the financial space, you all hear what is happening today with the whole BRICS story. We want to also avoid using words like de-dollarization. We are not fighting anybody. Africa just wants to find its niche in the entire space because it deserves to sit there. And it's everybody here that is making that happen. So what I want to say is invite everyone through the cNGN as time goes on, because we have the African Stablecoin Consortium that goes just even way beyond only cNGN, but also at a Pan-African level. So we want to invite everyone. Let's come together. Let's build together. And for those of us at the Pan-African level, we'll now see how to connect it to other key components. And then you all will all benefit this. Thanks again, kudos to the cNGN team. Thanks most importantly to the builders on this call, and thank you, Kaluaja, for putting this together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
Yep. Victor, go ahead.
I haven't done from this, and it's for you to say grace.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the education. I appreciate the audience. I appreciate the back and forth. Like I said, many of us here are civilians. I'm getting lots of questions to do with the stability of the cNNG. If we should buy cNNG and hold it. It's Naira. So essentially, it's a digital Naira. The same thing you do with Naira, the same thing you do with the cNGN. The same thing. It's just that NGN means Naira, right? Exactly. So what they are giving you is efficiency, productivity, cheaper cost. That's essentially what they're giving to you. So it's not like buying GE or buying a bond or buying a stock. It's the same Naira you have in your pocket, just a digital version. So the cNGN, just to give that clarification, lots of questions are coming, like as if it's an investment per se. Most of the folks here are building platforms and opportunities around using a digital Naira. So you heard the guy that talked about, you can be, if you're building a home, let's say you have a block of flats, the way you should normally go is you go to a bank and you borrow money, you build that house, then you sell the house or you collect rent. He's saying that, listen, we can use cNGN to fund you to create tokens. And that building, you can tokenize the entire building and sell shares, in quotes, of that building using cNGN. So you get investors that fund the building of that property. And then when you collect rent, you simply pay back to the tokens. So if I own that home with that token, I'm able to get rental without owning the building. I can still pay rent, but my rent comes back to me because I have those tokens. That's one guy using the cNGN to build on something. So the cNGN itself is not the investment, it's what they are building and what they are using that digital currency to achieve and accomplish. That's essentially what they are doing here on the space. So go back and listen to the space. It's recorded. It's going to be put on the podcast, so you can go back and listen. Especially for us that don't really know the terms and all that, it's a great space to learn and see what people are doing, so you can know where to invest your funds. Guys, we're here next week again. Next week we're bringing in the folks from Kenya to talk about investing in real estate over there to earn passive income in dollars as well. So do come if you're interested in passive income, diversification of your earnings away from Naira and also away from Nigeria. Just you have to build a basket of investment opportunities, so that way you are afloat when the oceans are a bit choppy. On that note, guys, thank you so much for being here with me. My name is Kalu Aja. Of course, we're here every Sunday talking money, the economy, and of course, finance. I hope I'll see you guys here next week. Thank you to cNGN and the team, all the developers, all the folks that have come here, Victor, and the rest. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me so much. And I'll see you guys here next week. Next time, if you guys have stuff to share, please, Victor, send to me. If your co-creators, those things that they are building, they want to get visibility, do share to me. I will do the retweet just to explain what they are doing. That would also help as well. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good one, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you
All right,
so
thanks,
much.
Carlo. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.